This episode is brought to you by MajahHypeStore.com. MajahHypeStore.com is your official website for all Majah Hype merch, like t-shirts, hoodies, card games, keychains, and so much more. MajahHypeStore.com. Enter promo code ERP20 for 20% off your purchase on MajahHypeStore.com. Now back to the episode.
Man, I smile up himself to get behind the microphone.
Listen, Majah, welcome back to Toronto, Big Boss.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
A pleasure and an honor.
How's it been for you the last 2 years?
It's been a lot happening. Not being able to work, right? Because the places were closed and stuff like that. Then, dealing with, family and personal life situations. And, just basically trying to keep my sanity through a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I'm blessed. I can't complain overall.
How would you say it affected your creativity for the last little while?
It didn't.
Yeah.
At all. It actually enhanced my creativity.
Explain. What do you mean?
I mean, my comedy is based off of reality, real life. So, as life happens, I see the comedic value in most things that other people wouldn't. So, yeah.
Yeah. You understand? All right. Well, on this podcast, 'cause we have a little bit more time, I like to go from beginning and then bring it right up to 2022.
Absolutely.
First question for you is this. Growing up in Brooklyn, what type of child were you growing up in Brooklyn?
I was a privileged child.
Okay.
Most people have ghetto stories and hood stories. I never really had those stories.
Okay.
No. I went out and created those stories.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean.
You had to go look for it. It wasn't in
So with my family background, we were a well-off family.
Okay.
It wasn't a family. We grew up in a brownstone in the middle of Flatbush. We was family oriented. There was a lot of family around. So, it wasn't a bad situation for me, right? So if we wanted to get into trouble, we had to go look for it.
You had to go look for it.
Basically, that's what it was. So, yeah, we did find trouble.
Yeah. Do you have any brothers or sisters? You're the oldest, youngest, or in between?
For my mom, I'm the oldest. I was the spoiled only child for about 10 years.
Okay.
Before my mom decided to have these two other little people.
Individuals. Yeah.
That's what you want to call them.
Yeah. Okay, so then you were basically an only child and did that right there, being an only child, is that where you discovered your creativity at that point there?
Well, my grandfather had a band when I was growing up. I grew up with my grandparents in their home, right? Like in the beginning stages of my life. Grandparents, I'm basically talking about in the States, right?
Yeah.
So, my grandfather had a band. I was playing music at the age of 8.
Would you, as an instrument or as
my main
playing
instrument
music?
is alto saxophone.
Okay.
I play 7 different instruments, or maybe more. I just like 7 sounds good.
And how did you discover all of these? Okay, you're saying your grandfather, he was in the band.
Right. He molded that. Yeah, he molded. So this is what I explained to even the haters on Instagram and stuff, right? So I was raised in entertainment. So all I really know is entertainment, right? So when haters see me accomplish my goals or fulfilling my dreams, you making a fake page, you trying to make a nasty comment or whatever, is not gonna stop me.
Yeah.
Because I was groomed for this. You understand what I'm saying? This is all I know, really and truly. You know what I'm saying? So my grandfather introduced the musical side of entertainment to me. He played in a band. He was the owner of the band. He was one of the founders of the Labor Day Parkway.
Okay.
Yeah, Eastern Parkway. parade. And my gimmick was being 8 years old and being in a New Year's Eve ball, playing an instrument on stage. That was the thing. Like, this little boy needs to be in bed, but he's good. You know what I'm saying? So, so that was the first period of my life as far as entertainment is concerned. Then falling in love with the aspect of DJ.
Okay, so then it was playing instruments was first.
Absolutely.
And then DJing came second.
Right.
So how did you transition or even discover DJing and records and stuff like that?
So being a musician, right? I think I was in the period of life when things started transitioning from music instruments to, Planet Fats and drum machines and Casios and stuff like that. So I was intrigued by it, right? So I started learning, the electronic part of music. After that, just being in the culture, just being a part of the culture, and seeing, because as a youth we see the dance hall, but we never was allowed to go in the dance hall at that time, right? But just seeing it, you know what I mean? The two turntables, the mixer, the man talking on the microphone, all of that was intriguing to me.
What I liked was the lights on the sound system.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
to see them go off, that was my thing right there.
Yeah, it was mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Right? So I never forget, like, junior high school, middle school, Bounty and Beanie became the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Right? And I used to mimic Bounty Killer all the time. Yeah. Like, it was at the point where I was making, like, I saved every dollar to get some bullshit equipment. Because back then we didn't know what was the good stuff, what was the bad stuff. All we knew was we needed two turntables and a microphone and a mixer. So I had two Gemini mismatched turntables.
Yeah.
One was probably black and one was gray. Right?
With no pitch or pitch?
No pitch. One had pitch, one didn't. One had probably the button that said 33 and 45 on it.
That's it.
Right? And that was it. And then we used to take, like, quilts and cut the little circles out for the mats, because
for the scratch pads.
Exactly. So, and then when you broke a needle, that was it for the month. Because you had to save up some money to get another one.
And even then, did you have a DJ name, or this was you're just fooling around with stuff? So you didn't.
I was a gangster. So I had a gangster name.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a DJ name.
Yeah.
I think it was like DJ Punch You in the Face or something like that, maybe. DJ Boxmod or something like that, you know what I'm saying?
Because even though you had to go outside and go look for the trouble, you'd go outside and go look for the trouble, but you were still intrigued with the music.
Absolutely.
And so you're meshing both worlds.
You also have to understand that badness came with being a selector.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you think about all of the selectors from back in the days, they wasn't even though they may not have been gangsters, they had gangster image, right? So you had people like Babyface from King Addies. He wasn't no gangster, but he had a lot of gangsters around him. You understand what I'm saying? And he was that no nonsense dude, right? You had every selector you could think about. That was the image. You know what I'm saying? So just basically, I guess, following that image, you know what I mean? And I had a hot temper at that time anyway, so
So at this time, I guess you're in between music and the streets a bit at this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When did music or even entertainment start to take over more of the streets? So it's like you left the streets a little bit and entertainment got into you.
I actually went in the streets more.
You went into the streets more.
So that I could fund the music part.
Got you.
Remember, back then we was buying 12 inches and 45s, and it was $3 for one 45 back then. So and $4.99 for a 12 inch and $8.99 for an album. So at that time we had to find ways to get money to do that. You know what I'm saying? So we did a lot of different things in the streets to fulfill that. You know what I mean? That part of music. So we was in the streets heavy. You know what I'm saying? And I would probably say, yeah, we was in the streets because of the love of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't for nothing else because, like I said, I didn't need to do that.
It was a cycle almost, like you wanted the music, you wanted the equipment, but you needed to fund it. So in order to fund it, you had to go
because now you're learning that that Gemini turntable ain't gonna work. You need a Technique 1200.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go put that on layaway, and it's gonna sit there for 3 months until I could get it out. And I need it too. So
yeah.
you know.
Was there ever a time or incident where the streets, where you seen, okay, you had to make a decision between the streets and the music, where that was something that naturally just came over time?
The streets was always my outlet, because it was an unruly phase. It was a phase where nobody couldn't tell me nothing. It was a phase where if you talk too hard, you're gonna get disciplined.
Yeah.
You understand? So, like, what were you like? We were, the streets were more fun than anything else to me.
Yeah.
It was the knowing, but not knowing the results of what's gonna happen, right? So, whether it was selling drugs, whether it was teeth in car, whether it was duct taping a man, you understand, taking away his weed or whatever it was, we was into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I embrace and love my comedy career so much now, because it was a time where I was making people cry. Now I'm making people laugh.
Got
You understand what I'm saying? And
This
I
is your
that.
payback to
Right,
society.
Right. So I embrace that more. The fact that, you know, yeah, I did. Because when I first started doing comedy, bro, I used to look into the crowd like, let me see if anybody in here who get tied up already, and you know what I'm saying? Because that was the thing. It was like you can't mix the two, right? Because you're entertainer.
Yeah.
We know where you're gonna be at, bro. You're on every flyer.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So you always had to watch your back to see who's gonna be in this crowd and who's gonna be there or whatever. So, I mean, by the grace of God, I've came out thus far, but with the blessings and being able to do what I do now. But the transition for me was when I had my first child. You know, when I had my first child, my daughter, my only daughter.
Yeah.
When I had her, I knew I had to provide for her, and I was still kind of doing street stuff, but I knew I had to start transitioning to find a better way because I never wanted my child to even come see me through no plexiglass or to say, yo, my father was this, but he's gone now, or whatever the case may be. So, I became a man way quicker than most men probably did in that age.
You had the insight and the foresight to understand that, okay, if this is the family route that we're going, this is how I want to raise my family.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, it's a cycle, right? And I don't know why a lot of people don't see the cycle, but the cycle is this. If you're the average drug dealer or the average street person, right? 5-10 years max. You're either dead or in jail. You know what I'm saying? No matter what or how you look at it. We could call names till we're blue in the face. You know what I'm saying? The people that are no longer around. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of
trend.
Right. And we kind of idolize, especially as Caribbean people, we idolize the badness and we idolize this and we idolize that. Yeah. But the real end point to that is either you're going to be in jail for 30 years or you're going to be dead.
And there's that's to enjoy life for 5 crazy years.
I'd rather enjoy life the way it is right now than to be at the top for 5 years and be gone.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I knew that if I continued on that road, that would be my outcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was never a follower growing up. You know what I'm saying? And people that's watching this, we're not talking about followers like on social media. We're talking about
real life.
Real life followers, like people who follow other people.
Don't be a follower.
Right.
Yeah.
So I never was that person. I always had my own mind. I always was really headstrong when it comes to making decisions for myself, and that stuck with me all through my life. So if I never wanted validation from people as far as, you know, oh, you soft, you don't want to go up on that movie. It's all right. Me all right with that.
Yeah.
You understand me? So at this age, I was just like, yo, man, I got to change my life because, you know, it's a big difference between growing up doing foolishness and having a actual family, because I've remember I come from a family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Understand what it is.
Exactly. And I watched my grandfather provide for his whole entire family. You know what I'm saying? I watched my grandmother stay home and sew and fix holes in jeans and take care of the kids and the grandkids and cook. Back then time that we never have no microwave, and if you did
what?
Back then we couldn't afford a microwave. Microwave was for rich people.
Yeah.
You understand? So my grandmother had the time when my grandfather's coming home from work so that he can have hot food when he comes in.
Out of the pot.
You understand me? So at the end of the day, you know, I knew what family structure was about, right? So I always wanted that because I seen that. So I always want to mimic that. So I always want to be in a relationship. I always want to have a wife. I always want to have my children and everybody's in one house and all that. I mean, of course, life comes and
For sure.
changes things around, but you know.
This was your intention. So
Right.
then now you had your daughter and stuff. You knew that, okay, I need to change my life. So what moves did you make to actually change in your life at that time there?
School,
Okay. What did you take in school?
electrical engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, you know, just pursuing that. You know what I mean? I was producing music on the side and stuff like that, but I still was dealing with what's coming in, what is going to make money right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So working.
Yeah.
Working. You know what I'm saying? I did all kind of different jobs. You know what I'm saying?
What was the worst job that you had?
The worst job
Yeah.
that I ever had, playing for Master Beat. No, I'm stopping. I'm just joking.
Big up Bobby and
Big up
Jabba.
Bobby Konders, big up Jabba. Bobby, I'm a general.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? He gave me an opportunity where nobody else would, so I got to big up Bobby Konders. But no, the worst job I've probably ever had. Are we talking about pay grade wise, or are we talking about labor wise? What are we talking about
So,
here?
just this job, you hated this job. This was the worst job. It's either pay you didn't like, it was something you hated this job. You would never.
All
go
right, so
back
I
to
didn't have much jobs.
that. Okay.
I didn't have much jobs where I worked multiple places and hated it, right?
Yeah.
And every job that I've taken on, to be honest, I've always been intrigued to learn.
Okay.
So I never really had like a terrible job. All right, so I could name on one hand what jobs I did.
Let's go.
Okay, I worked at Key Food, which is a supermarket.
What were you doing there?
I was a stock boy.
Okay.
I was the guy that came around with the gun and put the prices on the cans and stuff like that. Right?
When you said the guy that came around with the gun, I said,
Yeah.
Hold on, you're working there.
The price gun,
Got
gun,
you,
right?
got you.
I worked at a record store,
Okay.
Jah Life,
You at your life. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I worked at Superpower,
What were you doing over there?
selling records.
Yeah.
Selling records and inhaling hella marijuana.
Yeah. All right. Was it one of those jobs where it's 3 records for you, 1 for me, 7 for you, 2
Well.
for me?
All right. So this is the thing, right? So in record industry world, in dancehall, right? When the new records came in, we as the record sellers used to put a stack of records to the side for the big select of them.
Yeah.
So if you came in there and you wasn't hot, you wasn't getting the song. People don't even understand. That's how it went. So you as a regular, you trying to come up and be a selector.
Yeah.
You already starting in the negative because who is you? Where you gonna play that in your house?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, it was that.
Yeah.
I had to put some records to the side for me, and you know what I'm saying? Like, hope nobody finds it. Like, what is Skip I do yes, sir? I was saving it for someone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so I was working at a record. I was working at Jah Life. I was working at Super Power. I was working at Key Food. I worked at Macy's.
You worked at Macy's.
Yeah, I got fired from there.
Right. You got listen. You got to tell us, how did you even get to Macy's, and how did you get fired from a Macy's?
So Macy's was they have this seasonal thing where they hire you like for the seasons when it gets
for Christmas and
stuff like that. Yeah, when it gets crazy. Yeah, and after they got rid of me.
You weren't coming in on time or what?
No, it wasn't that. I was a good employee.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm always the person that's willing to learn and ready to learn, whatever field I'm in. It was because I lied on the application. It was like, Nigel, could you come to the human resources office, please?
You knew what was going to happen.
I knew what time it was. Yeah, I knew what time it was. Yeah. But they ask you like, have you ever been arrested and shit like that and I was like, nah, never. Crazy. And they did their research, and that was it for me in Macy's.
Right. Okay.
I appreciate the stuff that I got though.
Yeah. Listen, just the other day I was speaking to my wife. I said, listen, black people, it doesn't matter how old or how young, Christian, rebel or whatever, black people always bring home something from work.
Absolutely.
Buddy, always bring home something from work.
Whether you work at McDonald's, you're coming home with a bag full of food, whatever, it don't matter.
You're coming home
we have to get something more ideal, am I?
Yes, man.
Pay is not good enough for us.
Nah, black people always bring something from work. So you did the record shop, you did the Macy's, you worked at the supermarket. And what was your last job there now?
My last job was being an electrician.
Okay.
For mass transit.
In
New York, yeah. Yeah. So that was like the last job I did before becoming a comedian. It was a very hard job. It was a dangerous job, but the pay grade was great.
But wasn't that what you went to school for?
Yes. So it worked. It worked out. I got laid off from that job. I was there for a while. I was there for like 9 years, and then I got laid off. Yeah.
Okay, so this was a real career.
Oh yeah,
at this point.
Yeah. At this point, I was done with entertainment basically.
Yeah.
I was playing Massive B sound
while working. Okay.
So I played Massive B before getting that job.
Yeah.
And I was having kids at the same time while that was happening, right? So now I got 4 kids, and I'm trying to provide for 4 kids and myself and my kid's mother off of a selecting job. And that wasn't happening. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? I need to go look at work.
Yeah.
So I went and looked at work, and I got the job. And, that's when I was working mid-shift, which was 3 to 11. So I was working 3 to 11, and I was DJing at night. So I was out at night. I'll come home, sleep for a couple hours, get up, go to work. And that was my schedule. Then I started working the morning shift, and which made it even harder because now I'm working 7 to 3.
So after dance, especially if you're in New York and New York
I
is
used
going
to drive
straight
straight to work and go sleep in the car.
Yeah.
And then go to work. After work, I'll go home, sleep, do the same whole thing again. So I've been surviving off of 4 to 6 hours of sleep for the last 20 years.
You know how to hustle. You got to hustle. You got to make it happen.
Absolutely.
So even all of this time here now, when did you start to discover that you could do different accents, like a Guyanese, a Haitian, Grenadians and stuff like that?
It was when because aside from Toronto, right? So Toronto is a very diverse city. The next city that has that is New York.
Especially Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Right. So, I used to play music by ear, and I also played by reading sheet music.
Okay.
But I was very good at playing by ear. So, majority of the time I hear something, I can mimic it. And I realized that I didn't even realize that I was mimicking these accents.
Yeah.
Because it just was like trigger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Off the trigger. If I'm at a Guyanese house, I'm going to talk like that. If I'm at a Jamaican house, I'm going to talk like that. If I'm at a Grenadian house, I'm going to talk like that. And I didn't even realize that I was doing it until people started asking me, like, yo, where you really come from?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Because I hear you take a call like a while ago and you talk Trinidadian to the man and then you come back and talk to me, so. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. You know what I'm saying? And I never looked at it as an advantage. I just looked at it as, you know, it's just like speaking to a Haitian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You speak to a Haitian person, you want to speak to them in their language so they could better understand you. If you talking to a Spanish person, you do the same, French or whatever. You know, so that's what I looked at it as. You know what I mean? And Instagram came out, but in the beginning of Instagram's history, there was no video.
No, it was just pictures at that time. Yeah.
And Twitter. So my jokes and stuff like that was on Twitter.
That's where they originally
were. Yeah, Twitter and Instagram pictures, memes and stuff like that. We used to make our own memes and all that type of stuff, right? So then after that, it became Vine.
Yes.
Vine was the first people who started videos, 6 second videos. And Vine was very short-lived because the moment Vine started doing the 6 second videos, Instagram came maybe the next month probably and did 15 second videos.
Killed Vine.
And killed Vine. And that was it for Vine. And we bouncing back and forth. Instagram, the 15 second videos, which there's the people who know who I am.
Yeah.
They know that's where the video part of my comedy started at. The Gradient parents be like, the guy and his parents be like, all of that stuff. And it was hard work for me because I had to literally do 5, 6, 7 accents in one video. Or I had to put up 6, 7 different videos for the day. You understand what I'm saying? So it was harder work for me than anybody else because everybody was just representing one culture. I was representing everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and was that purpose or that was accident or that was just how it turned out?
It's just how it turned out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I could relate to many different cultures within the diaspora, right? So I felt like I didn't want to leave nobody out, basically. You know what I mean? Of course, Jamaica, and then you got Trinidad, you got Grenada, you got, you know what I'm saying? So if I was to start off and be like, Jamaican parents be like blah, 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 I always felt like, damn, could a Trini relate to that? Could a Guyanese relate to that? So I had to really start.
Encompass everybody.
Exactly. So that's where that started at.
Do you and Noah basically start same time? You and Noah Powa?
Noah's not a comedian.
He started out, well, he wasn't not as a comedian.
You want me to tell you how this really started?
Tell me.
I'm glad you brought up Noah.
Yeah.
Because Noah challenged me to some Instagram shit, joking around at the house, because me and Noah is brethren for years. Noah come on my yard, and you know what I'm saying, know my mother, and know a female mother, I know everybody is like my brother.
Yeah.
Right? And we was talking about how much views we get and how much comments we get or something like that. And I was like, yeah, idiot. I'm gonna put up something right now, I'm gonna get more likes than you. And he was like, man, go do it.
Yeah.
I want you. And that's how the comedy competition between me and Noah came out, right?
Yeah.
And it was just jokingly, you know what I mean? And you know, we started just doing our thing. He always sound like Bounty Killer, I always sound like Buju. And it was like, yo, that would be a wicked clash.
Yeah.
And then we just started doing that and joking around within Brooklyn, not even like on social media or nothing like that. We'll go to like the Arc.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We'll be in Albany Manor and he'll do Bounty Killer and I'll do Buju and we'll just have a good time. And it just blew up. And I started taking it seriously. He wasn't a comedian. So I mean, of course he give his jokes and he does his stuff on social media, but that wasn't his forte then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't, you don't, if you just look at his bio, it doesn't say.
It wouldn't say comedian.
Right. You understand what I mean?
I could tell some jokes.
Right.
But that doesn't
I could
mean
make y'all laugh, but that's not my thing. You know what I mean?
Got you. So then that was a catalyst that really, for both you guys that was working at that time there, where you're going around with this stuff, live in the parties and stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, when did you find that, okay, this is really working for me now? People are really paying attention. Was it people coming up to you? Was it calls? What was it that really, where you said, okay, there's something here?
So I was kind of small-minded when I started doing comedy because all I was thinking about was the people in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? When it started to crack the code and go global and, you know, international after and all of these other things, I was like, wow, like this is really something that I need to pay attention to. You know what I mean? And then when I got laid off, I took it seriously and I started doing videos for real. You know what I mean? I saved up enough money from my job that I could have survived for the time that it took for my comedy career to pick up.
So it gave you a cushion so you could explore what else he had there as a comedian.
Right. So, I mean, at that time, you know, we had 1,200 followers, 1,500 followers. That was a lot to us back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know 1,500 people. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it was a big deal. And I watched the numbers go up weekly, daily. The numbers were rising. And I'm like, wow. Like, people really is taking on to what I'm doing. But it still wasn't, should I make this a career thing?
Yeah.
Right? So, after, I think, a year or a year and a half, my job called me back.
Okay.
It was like, yeah, we got an opening. You know, we want to bring you back. You're a good worker, da-da-da-da. And I went back to work. I went back to work for like 2 weeks. And the whole time that I was at work, all I was thinking about was making videos and the people that I'm letting down by not putting videos on Instagram.
And the funny thing with it, remember, you couldn't monetize it at this time. So there was no real money coming in?
There was no income. It was just, you doing it because the exposure or whatever. And back then you hoped and prayed that maybe somebody in Hollywood or maybe somebody that's doing a movie will see your talents and call you and say, you know, but that was far-fetched. You know what I mean? I mean, even up to today, you could count maybe on your two hands how many people transitioned from social media to TV and movies. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when I talk about the comedians that's coming in these days, you got to know what the hell you really want from this, because there's no guarantee that somebody's going to call you and want you to host their show or want you to do this or do that or do this. So you got to be really mind strong and know that this might not work, because I see a lot of comedians sitting in the house putting all their time and effort into this, and what is you really getting out of it? You know what I'm saying? So you got to be mindful of what you want in your career and focus on that, because I'm self-reliant. You know what I mean? If a movie studio ain't calling me, I'll make my own movie. You know what I'm saying? If promoters ain't calling me, I'll keep my own show. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what it is for me. You know?
What was the first follower, big person that followed you and you know, okay, this is really happening?
Dule Hill. So he has Caribbean background. So he hit me up and he was like, yo, I like what you're doing, da-da-da-da. Because, you know, I was like one of the first people that was really representing the whole entire Caribbean. You know, so he hit me up and we became friends. Then, you know, people like Tyson Beckford. Then I started seeing Erykah Badu. Then I saw, you know, Busta Rhymes, and you know what I'm saying, people like that. And I'm just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, people respect my work. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is the thing. So if you look at my career today, it's so many people that follow me right now that I don't even know they following me, right? It's not until I go to their page or something like that and I see follow back, I'm like, Queen Latifah is following me? Like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, people who, you know, creditable people is following me right now.
Real
today.
Hollywood stars.
Right. Which makes me know now that Hollywood knows who's Majah Hype. Right? But am I getting the Hollywood calls?
Or even if you're not getting the call, you might be getting the monitor, where they're watching to see what you're doing, how you're doing, If you could still
to steal it.
really see if you could still hold on to it, and then they say, okay, come
Absolutely. And I see that all the time.
Yeah.
Even like I see skits that I've done that I'm seeing other people create and put on TV and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah.
So that's back to being a comedian again. What are you in it for?
Yeah.
Are you in it for the hype? Or you really want to make a career out of this where you can feed your family?
Yeah.
Because not everybody could take the same path that I could take. Not everybody could go on a stage and sit on a stage for 2 hours and make people laugh for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what is the purpose of trying to be a comedian? Is it just because you make people giggle for right now? You know what I'm saying? Or is it that you really want to make this a career? So you know, I had to take it seriously when I started getting the calls.
Yeah.
When I started getting the, oh, do you do stand-up?
What was that like? That first call that you got? Do you do stand? Because was that even your intention to do stand up?
No.
It wasn't your intention.
No.
Yeah. So you know what? What was your intention then?
I didn't know at that point. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know, right? So at that point, I was just like, yo, if I could, you know, get hosting money or, you know what I'm saying, advertisement money and stuff like that, that'd be all right for me until I figure it out. That's what it was for me at that time.
You knew you could monetize somehow, but you didn't really have the path where you really wanted to go.
So it was like YouTube and stuff like that, right? But still being a grown man that has 4 children, how am I going to survive off of that too? You know what I'm saying? So I started to take the craft of being a comedian seriously. I did my research. I started watching old stand-up specials, Delirious and, you know, Richard Pryor and Red Fox. And, you know, I even went to the Caribbean and started watching Sprengalang, and I started watching Larry Joseph, and I started watching Oliver, you know what I'm saying, just to get the foundation of where I want to bring it to the next level. You understand?
To understand the craft.
Right, absolutely. So, no, you know, nothing. I can't take nothing away from the foundation because those are the foundation people who created it, right? So, people like Oliver, people like Larry Joseph, people like Sprangalang, you know what I'm saying?
Blacker and Bellow.
You understand what I'm saying? It was even people like Lecturer.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? You got Trevor, what's his name? Eastman, I think his name is, from Barbados.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I had to watch all of those people to collectively say, all right, this is what I want to do now. This is going to be my contribution to this culture, and not only to the culture, but to stand up in general.
Yeah.
Because I stand up with the best. I've been on stage with Paul Mooney. I've been up there with Cedric the Entertainer, Michael Blackson. I've been up there with Mike Epps. I've been up there with you name them.
Yeah.
I've been up there because you got to understand the difference between Caribbean comedy and mainstream comedy, right? So when you watch an old school Caribbean stand-up show, it's not really the stand-up that we know to be like Kevin Hart stand-up or to be Cat Williams stand-up. It's a man went down the road the other day, and when the man went down the road, he went into a bar. He went into a bar and he see a woman, and he went and talked to the woman, and the woman turned around and she see. It's more of a storytelling kind of, you know. Yeah. And that's the old school to Caribbean comedy, right? So me being in the States, I connected with mainstream stand-up. And I said, you know what? Why don't we have somebody that represent us like that?
So you could either play in the market where you're playing in all Caribbeans, or you could represent the Caribbean in a U.S. or a different type of market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Before we even go too far, your name, Majah Hype. How did you get your name? And was your name ever Major O-R Hype? And then you change it over, or what was the deal with that? Okay. M-A-J-O-R.
Right.
Hype.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what it started off as.
Yeah.
My name first was Major One.
Major One.
Major One. That was my name on selecting.
So when you were on Massive B and those songs, you were Major Hype or Major One?
Major Hype.
You're Major Hype.
I was Major One in the beginning of my selector days. When I was playing with Black Magic, when I was playing for Arsenal Sound and Love Express, and all of these sounds. I was
This is
Majah
before
1.
the Libra Loves and
Oh yeah,
Massive Beats and all of this stuff.
yeah. Well, even with Libra Love, I wasn't Majah Hype yet.
Yeah.
I was just Major at that time. You know what I'm saying? It went from Major 1 to Major Damage to Major
Yeah.
to Majah
Yeah.
to Majah Hype.
Okay, so then walk us through how you even came up from the start to how you got to
All
Majah
right,
Hype.
you ever heard of an artist named Major 1?
Yeah, man, he was a dancehall artist.
Right.
Yes, man.
All right, I had to change my name because of that. I was Major 1, and everybody was like, "So you do dubs, right?"
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
"No."
When you said it to me just now, I'm thinking, hold on, is this guy the
Right. So
original?
they like, is it Major 1 dead?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I gotta change this name. So then I became Major Hype. I mean Major Damage.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Major Damage, the artist?
No, but I know we used to have these jeans over here from
Oh yeah,
place
yeah.
named
We had
Stitches
that too.
Major Damage.
Yeah, we had that
that's
over
right.
here too. That's where I got the name from.
Yeah.
Then I realized he's an artist from LA or something like that.
Okay.
Like some
Yeah.
man named Major Damage.
So this is the
So I'm
second
like,
one.
okay, now I gotta change it again.
Yeah.
And I started thinking to myself like Major Star, Major Pain. What am I gonna put now? And I was just like, you know what? Just Major.
Yeah.
And it just became Major, right? I even got flyers like with Major 1 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they had Major Worries.
Yes.
So all of these majors, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna stay with Major. And then, you know, to revise my name when I started doing Massive B, I came with Major Hype. Because I used to hype up the crowd, I used to mash up the crowd, and I was such a humble person off of the microphone. But when I get on the microphone, it's lit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the hype came. And then I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to change my name because the Major thing is kind of old school. You know, let me revise it. You know what I'm saying? So I put Major, but then it became complicated because people started calling me Majah. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, what? I can't get a break with a name. Like, I'm just say Nigel. You know what I'm saying? Just call me Nigel.
Yeah.
The hell with it.
Leave it at that.
You know what I'm saying? But Major Hype stuck, and you know, it worked. And it just became a household name with the comedy. You know what I'm saying? I realized that everybody was like, yo, you ever heard of this dude? You ever seen this dude videos? You ever heard of that dude? And it just became a household name in the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? Because my Caribbean, my comedy busts from the States.
Yeah.
And it spread like a virus in the Caribbean.
And you know, as a thing there, as anything Caribbean, for some reason, it's always harder to bust from the States than it is to bust from
Absolutely.
whatever Caribbean island you're representing.
Absolutely.
So to get your bus as a Caribbean from the States, that's amazing.
Well, I feel like that happened because everybody was curious on where's he from. How could he do every accent like that?
Yeah.
Right? So no matter, I went to 4 countries already, and they told me welcome home.
Yeah. Which 4 countries were these?
One of them was Guyana.
Yeah.
I went to Guyana. They was like, welcome home, bye. I was like, I looked at them like, he was like, I know which one of your family here for you. Which one of them? Is your mother or your father? I said, both. So, and at that time, nobody, because you know your birthplace is on your passport. Nobody decided to look at it. They just was like stamping, well, come on, buddy. Yes, Bano. I know this man from Guyana, boy. And he just...
You're from Linden.
Yeah, I'm from Buxton,
Yeah.
apparently. From Buxton, boy.
Yeah. That's from there.
So-
Crazy because...
So everybody embraced me. You know what I'm saying? And I my goal was never to hide my nationality. That was never the goal.
But it seems like you
just
picked up on something
It
quickly.
became such a curiosity for people that I was like, why they want to know so bad?
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not telling nobody. And that's just what it became. I don't care. I don't care if you know where I'm from. Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? But the fact that it was such a in demand thing, I was like, nah, I'm gonna hold on to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it became.
You're talking about going from Instagram, internet, to on the stage. What was it like your first night on stage?
So remember I told you that I was, doing entertainment since I was 8.
Yeah.
So I personally feel like God was grooming me for that day, to fulfill my genuine purpose in entertainment, period, right? Because if you think about the music industry, whether it's dancehall, whether it's soca, no matter what it is, no matter if you're a musician, if you're a DJ, it's very saturated.
For sure.
Like every and anybody's a DJ, everybody's a musician. It's like so saturated. So I never felt like that was my calling, although I love it and I'm passionate about it and I love music, and music is, the key to your soul and everything. I just started feeling like I had a bigger purpose. And me traveling the world, I done seen the world 3 times over. Traveling with Master B, going to Sweden and Japan and, Holland and all of these different places, standing in front of festivals with 40,000 people.
And this is all before you got your bus as a Majah Hype. This
Absolutely.
is as playing on a song.
Absolutely.
That's wild.
So, like I said, I felt like the journey was prepared and groomed by God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So me standing in front of 40,000 people was getting me ready to be on stage by myself. You understand what I'm saying? And it was, at first it was butterflies and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Because you remember, as a DJ, you can hide behind music. You make a mistake, you just, step back and let the music play. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing comedy, it's you, the microphone, and the crowd.
Yeah.
There's no room for mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And if you do make a mistake, your job is to not let the crowd know that you made a mistake. So you just roll with the punches. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very witty and know that, all right, I stumbled up right there. Let me fix that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, when Cedric the Entertainer did Kings of Comedy, and he was doing a joke about black people playing hockey. Yeah. And he fell on the stage. Yeah. And he made that into another joke. You got to be witty like that. You know what I'm saying? So, stand-up comedy is not just for the funny. It's also for the intelligent. You know what I'm saying? It's also for the people
to be quick on your feet.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We did 2 shows last night, and one of the things that I love to do is interact with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? And that's ad-libbing. That's going right off the top of the head. You don't know what to expect, what that person's going to say, what you're going to say in return. What you can't know that. You know what I'm saying?
But again, that comes back from your sound days.
Absolutely.
Where you're freestyling and talking on mute. There is no script,
Absolutely. So that's why I say that, I feel like my journey was well put together and groomed by God. You know what I'm saying? Because it just was getting me ready for this.
Yeah. What was your first time in Canada like? Because I know in my mind, I could be wrong, but in my mind, you really got your comedian bus on a stage from Toronto, Canada. That's in my mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I did one show, which wasn't even a show. I was supposed to be hosting an event, basically just giving jokes in between sets of artists, right? So that was the first stage I've ever done some comedic stuff on. And the show was so not put together well that I was on stage way longer than I was supposed to be. So let's say they was calling out Lyrical, and Lyrical was the next artist that I was supposed to introduce. So let's say somebody like Marshall is about to come on, right? And Lyrical just got off. So they're like, yeah, so you're going to tell some jokes for 4 minutes, and then you're going to bring on Marshall. Yeah. And I do my 4 minutes, and I look behind the curtain like, is he ready? And everybody's like, keep going. I was in the intervals became like 18 minutes per act. So in that itself, I looked at it and I was like, yo, that's a set in itself. If I bring up 6 artists and I do 10 to 18 minutes in between each artist, that's a whole set.
Entire.
So I used that, right? And then the next call I got was from West Hype. I didn't know who Wes was. I didn't know him at all. I just knew that he wanted to bring me to Canada. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and at that time, I didn't even know what the going rate was for a comedian, especially traveling internationally.
Okay.
So
now
I told him.
That's what I was going to ask, because now we're so much fast forward. What did you charge Wes on your first trip to Canada?
I believe it was like $300 to $500 or something like that. And he was apparently a little smarter than me, because when I told him $500, he was like, all right, I'm booking 8 shows right now. I'm like, 8?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm lit.
But in your mind, you think
I'm thinking I'm lit. I'm like, oh, okay.
what? I could do this.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So
But you're
5
not
times
catching
8,
the
I'm like,
sights.
oh, send me the deposit now. And he sent it, and then when I didn't feel good about it. I felt good through the whole process until after the show was done, and I was like, so I feel like I got robbed. This man was packing out places, and I'm like, I'm looking at because you know, as an entertainer, you got to look. So I'm looking at the price he's charging to get in. I'm looking at the amount of people that's in here. I'm like, this nigga robbed me.
But you were complicit in the rob at first.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
So the funny thing is, I said, all right, if he called me next year, I'm going to get his ass. So he calls me next year, pause. He calls me next year, and he's like, yeah, so I want to bring you back to Toronto. I'm like, yeah, 1,500. He's like, all right, I'm booking 6 shows. I'm like, I'm still in get him? Oh, man. And that kept on happening up to this day.
Yeah.
Like the last time, so the growth between me and Wes Pause is the fact that we could sit down today and laugh about those conversations we had 9 years ago.
That's so wild.
So we talk about how we was arguing about $500 and $1,500 to now we're arguing about $1,000.
That's crazy to even just think of that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, and Wes has always been a person who genuinely respected my career and wanted to see my career grow.
Yeah.
He wasn't the person, you know, because you got some promoters that just in it for themselves and their own benefit. He definitely became a partner. He became a family member within Hype Media, you know.
It was perfect. You met this man from nowhere named Wes Hype. You're Majah Hype. So then that right there just showed.
And then his mother's a Virgo and my mother's a Virgo. So it's like,
yeah.
His mother name is Mama Hype and my mother name is Mama Hype. So it was just like, okay, maybe this was supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I remember some other people was calling me from Toronto to do shows and stuff like that. And he was like really trying to like tell me that nobody else could bring me to Toronto. I was like, is this guy sick? What is he talking about? But this is before we became actual partners, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, yo, what are you doing? You know, you're coming here for other mans, and you know, mans is not even like, you know, putting you in good places, and what are you doing? And I'm like, bro, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to this Grenada Day thing over here. I don't know what you're talking about. And it just became that until it did make sense that he's there. He's really a part of, you know, my team. Why not let him do the work? You know what I'm saying? So even if somebody else wanted to bring Majah Hype to Toronto, I would tell them, yeah, talk to Wes.
And he'll
you know
figure
what I
it
mean?
out.
Yeah, talk to Wes, because I know Wes has my best interests at hand. So, you know, that's where it went from that to that. So, like I said, up to this day, we got multiple ventures. We have, you know, the data app for Black-owned businesses, Forest 360. We got the Toxic AF game, the card game that we both created. We got merch. You know, he has MajahHype.com. No, I have MajahHype.com and he has MajahHypeToronto.com. So, you know, it's and it's never something that I have to think twice about. Like, is he robbing me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, even like we're doing these shows now and he's like, don't worry, I'm making sure you go home with this amount of money and whatever merch sells, I'm gonna show you the printout. I'm gonna show you what's sold. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna
everybody's
split that.
good.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
everybody's on the same
so
page.
He is somebody who genuinely has my best interests at heart. So, you know, that's how that became a
thing.
A thing. Yeah.
Crazy, because we know
I really
do.
thought I was getting them though with the 1,500. I
I'm tripling up, and yeah, I got you now.
I charged him 500 last year. He made a pot of money. Watch next year.
Crazy.
He called me. Hey, so how much you charging to 1,500? He was like, all right, I got 6 shows for you. I'm like, oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Now we have arguments
Yeah.
because the money is different.
It
Like
has
before
to
the pandemic, he's like, bro, I can only do 1,000. I'm like, no, bro. No, I need. That's the kind of
And you're
conversation.
gonna stick out on the 5.
Yeah. So you know it started in Toronto, but he made sure that it ventured out to Alberta, to Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary. You know what I'm saying?
Your favorite word, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. You know what I'm saying? Hamilton. Let me tell you something. We did a hosting in Hamilton, which was the easiest money I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
Easiest. The hardest part about that hosting was driving to Hamilton.
Yeah. Because you can't fly there. You got to drive there from Toronto.
Right.
Yeah.
So we drove there, we got there, and the party was over. I got my money, and it was good.
Yeah.
While we're sitting in the van with the promoter, they're like, yeah, the lights just came on. And the promoter's like, oh, let's go inside now.
Yeah.
So we go inside, and the lights are on, and people is leaving, and we just walk from the front door to the back door out, and we left.
You did your obligation.
Exactly.
My obligation was to
That
show
was
up.
the easiest.
This episode is brought to you by MajahHypeStore.com. MajahHypeStore.com is your official website for all Majah Hype merch, like t-shirts, hoodies, card games, keychains, and so much more. MajahHypeStore.com. Enter promo code ERP20 for 20% off your purchase on MajahHypeStore.com. Now back to the episode.
We know you do voices, but characters. What's your top 3 characters that you do?
My characters, or are you talking about impressions?
Characters, because remember you have like the MitZys, the original Grandpa James, the Russ. I can't forget Timothy, the mechanic man. That guy's funny. Like, there's a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watching them.
Yeah.
There's so much of them. Your top 3, and why are they your top 3?
Top 3, I would have to say the top 3 would be, of course, the Ras, number 1, Bobby Bunz, and MitZy.
Okay. You know what's why Bobby Bunz?
Bobby Bunz reminds me of old New York. You know what I'm saying? He's like the older dude, but he's like that hood dude that, you know what I'm saying, not having it. It's probably a little of me when I was then.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So I get to express myself in all of the different characters that I do, right? The reason why, so a lot of people, especially Jamaicans, they try to bun out the dressing like a girl, putting on a wig thing, right? So let me just explain to you where that came from.
This is what I want to hear.
Okay. I'm such an advocate for unification in our cultures, right? Now we're in a point in time where it's more of a competition between black man and black woman. I don't think that we value each other. I don't think we respect each other. And I don't think that we listen to each other. I think we listen to respond and not to understand.
Got it.
Right? So I knew that I wanted to get a message out to my black queens out there. But I knew they were not going to listen to it coming from a black man. You understand me? And that is where Sister Sandrine came in.
Yes.
Pum Pum Maintenance, right? Because there's a lot of things that I wanted to say to black women that I know a black man wouldn't get away with, right? So it worked. It worked to the point where the black women wanted more of Sister Sandrine.
Yeah.
They were like, yo, want to Sister Sandrine, want to Pum Pum Maintenance, yo, we miss her, yo, we want this, we want that. But it was also playing with my brain because in the background, you heard the little haters. Yo, am I dress up like Oman and Ray. And the truth about it is I shouldn't even have let that bother me or faze me because I knew what my ultimate goal was with that, right? But that's the reason why I started doing those female characters, because I knew it would be more relatable. Because you got to understand, like I said, the reason why I know how to do these different accents is because I always want to be relatable to the person. That's just who I am as an individual. So me doing the female characters was because I wanted it to relate to more women, right? If you look around, majority of my shows, 99% of my shows is females.
For sure.
You understand what I'm saying? And the man them will get dragged out by them woman. So you understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it worked. You know what I'm saying? And it was something that was genuine. It wasn't that I want to manipulate anybody or I want to trick around or play around with anybody's mind. It was that I wanted to get out a message. I wanted women to have more pride and respect in themselves. And I also wanted them to value us as men. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, that came out. And then I started doing MitZy because everybody knows a MitZy. Everybody knows a MitZy. We understand?
Yeah.
Everybody knows a MitZy. A butterer will come in at the shop, them and want to sell thief clothes and all them stuff like that. Everybody know one of them. You know what I mean? And everybody knows a what's her name too. Because what's her name is basically an American MitZy.
MitZy, you're right. And what I like with, okay, what is her name? That's her basic her name.
Well, her real name was Tanya.
Yeah, that was her name.
Her real name was Tanya, but nobody never got that. And I said, because I used the name one time, and then everybody was like, what's her name again? What's her name? What's her name? And I was like, you know what? That's what we're going to start calling her. What's her name?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how that became a thing. You know,
she's one of my favorite because she's just so wild and crazy and about
and that character was built off of my ex, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. That kind of masculine energy, kind of disrespectful.
Kim's wearing type of yeah.
I'll dead punch you in your face. Are you dumb? You know what I'm saying? That was, you know.
You see, what's so amazing with how your mind works? You're able to extract stuff that most people see every day, but they can't see it the way that your mind sees it and be able to repeat it back where we say, hey, that's funny.
Exactly.
We get it. We understand what you saw. You know?
So that's just like the Ras. If you was part of dancehall culture, or you got if you got Jamaican family, or you have a Ras in your you know what I'm saying? You definitely know a Ras. Zero tolerance, not using certain words, always just angry for nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's the Rasta culture when you really think about it. Like, you can't rap with certain Rastas with certain shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, me predict say, yo, the Manchester go win the cup. You predict. No man, nothing predict. I want to fire. You know what I'm saying? Manchester, where you go with Manchester? Who Manchester? You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the things that they be on, you know what I mean?
And it's always the simplest things. It's like, why we going there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even have a regular conversation with a Rasta man nowadays. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, like, let me not just say nothing, because, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's relatable. Like I said, my comedy is always relatable. So I look at the world from a different lens, from a different perspective.
And you feed it back to us.
Absolutely. And let people get to see the comedic value in that. I did it to myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even when I was going through my situation and everybody was like, yo, him have a panty on him head and all of this foolishness, I took the Ras and was like, yo, I go and panty, man. Did it to myself.
How do you beat somebody that's willing to do it to themselves?
Exactly.
How?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no way, because I know who I am, and nobody defines who I am but me. No, I don't need validation from anybody. Not especially not no little careless selector, or no, or, you know what I'm saying, some selector that live in a barber shop or some bullshit. I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? You don't define who I am. You don't predict or validate where my career goes. You can comment on it all you want. That's your prerogative. If you want to sit down and blog about me or say whatever you want to say about me, that's your perspective, and I respect it. But at the end of the day, you don't make me or break me, because you're a nobody. You understand what I'm saying? So
you're talking about me.
You understand what I'm saying? You're talking about me. I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
So therefore, my art.
Yeah.
My art. Me a news. You understand? Me a news to you. You understand me? So at the end of the day, you know, I could joke and laugh about certain things because I know who I am as an individual. I know what I've brought to the table for this culture. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I've inspired a lot of people that wants to do what I do now. You understand what I'm saying? When I was doing videos, nobody wasn't doing videos with themselves. Playing different characters and all of this stuff. Nobody wasn't doing that.
Not so intricate where you could hear voices and don't see somebody, they come in 2 seconds later. That intricate? No, it was not.
Nobody wasn't doing that. Now, and I could call name. Now you see people like Quiet Perry doing that. You see people like Trabas doing that. Trabas wasn't doing that before me. He was doing videos with his crew, with Famous So Sick and A.O. Pink and Lincoln Tree. That the one of them was doing videos as a collective unit. I was the one that came out and said, you know what? Me not no bag of friend, you know. Some girl can't act. So guess what? Me I gotta play all character. You understand me? So I see the work that I put out and I see the results that I got. So for me, I'm very, and I have 4 children. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if a man gonna say, boy, he might move like this, he might move like that, I don't care. I don't care. Like, people's opinion no longer bothers me. It used to take a toll on me, but I kind of identified with who I am now. So those things don't bother me anymore. So that's why you see, if I do a video like Batty Burglar. Enough man now gonna take that chance there and do that video there. You understand? Because they care about what everybody else is going to say. You understand
the craft that you're trying to present.
You dig what I'm saying? So for me now, me can't come out and do that video there. I know say it's just comedy. It's just jokes. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, could you imagine that? Like a man come rob you, a gangster man come rob you and then whine pan you before him go away. That's jokes. You crazy? That's like a story you would never want to tell nobody. Like, you can't tell nobody I got robbed. You probably tell them I got robbed. You know what I'm saying? But then you like, yo, and the man whine pan me, you know? Nobody ain't gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? So those is things that I look at, like I said, I look at the world from a different lens. So those things, you know, I try to differentiate myself from everybody else. It's comedy. You know what I'm saying? So me, I stick to original content. You know what I'm saying? I stick to my own style of comedy. Of course, I advance it, or I will revamp it or grow it or whatever, but I'm not gonna step out of my lane. This is what I've created for me. So therefore, I'm comfortable in my own lane.
What you created.
Exactly.
Right there. Even since you brought it up, I want to go into it a bit, but we're at a comedy show, so I don't think this is really the place to really go into it too deep. But since you said it, when it seemed like the whole world was against you, with the whole situation with your relationship and stuff like that, how did that make you feel as an individual? Not as Majah Hype, you know, as
it
Nigel.
felt horrible. It felt horrible, and I'm going to tell you why it felt horrible. It felt horrible because I put this demographic on my shoulders. I represented this demographic in the best way I possibly could. I sacrificed a lot for the people that I was entertaining. People don't understand, there's some videos that I put my own health in danger for. You understand what I'm saying? You might see me smoking a spliff. It might be regular paper I'm inhaling right there. You understand what I'm saying? It's
just for the comedic value.
Dedication of what I put out for this culture, to see everybody spin and flip on me and not even give me the benefit of the doubt was so painful. It was so painful and so hurt. I was so hurt. And I think that was most of the problem for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I already knew that, listen, this is one person coming out and saying that. No man don't come out and just start today. There has to be multiple women coming out saying, yeah, I saw him steal. You didn't get that. You got one person trying to depreciate one person. You understand me? And like I said, for the people not to give me the benefit of the doubt, really, really, really hurt. You know, because I'm like, damn, these people know me for so many years. They haven't heard me in no mix-up. They don't hear my name in no pasa. Like, okay, now this happens and I'm the worst person in the world. I'm a cokehead, I'm a gay guy, I'm a this, I'm a that, all of these different things. But you know, it took me time and therapy and counseling to understand that everybody who's cheering for you is not on your team. They cheering for you, but they're waiting for you to stumble. You understand? They're onlookers. Yeah. They are the people who say, all right, we are work with him right now. But me know, so I don't really like him. Him hot right now, but me can't wait till him fall. Me can't wait till him stumble. Those were the people who were doing that. And it was also friends, or so-called friends. You know what I'm saying? It was also people who I knew for years, selectors and this and that know me for years. Because let me tell you something right now. If the shoe was on the other foot, I would be the person to come out and say, yo, listen to me. Let's say, for example, it happened to you, right? And I know you for 20 plus years. And I never heard nothing like that about you, right? Me as a brethren, I gotta be the man who say, yo, you hear me people? Listen to what me I say right now. Me no live with that man there. Me no know where go on him house. But from the 20 plus years, me know that man here. Me can't tell you say me never hear nothing like that about that man here yet. You understand? No, I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. All I'm saying is, from what I know, for the last 20-something years, me never see this with this man here. I mean, I talk about people who come on me yard and everything, you know. You understand me? So at the end of the day, that hurt too.
That they were more quicker to put it on social media opposed to give you a call? That was really the part?
That also. It was so much different things, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to really go open back that womb again because at the end of the day, I don't want ever for my ex to feel like I'm dragging her, because that's not what I'm about. I'm not about dragging anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm about defending myself and defending who I am as an individual. You're not going to just come tear down who I am and who my grandparents raised and who my mother and father raised by trying to say this or that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not about that, because I don't do that to people. You understand? You never seen me rejoice off of somebody's downfall. I have multiple opportunities to use somebody's fault I make a joke about and say, oh, it's just comedy. That's what a lot of these comedians do. They disrespecting you and taking your stumble to build up themselves, but then saying, oh, it's just comedy. No, it's not comedy. You don't think about that person's family that he's feeding, his bills that have to pay. You ain't thinking about those things, but then when it happened to you, that's when you realize it. You understand me? And everybody go through their shit in life, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't ever try to use a man's downfall as a gain for me. That's not what I do. I don't see that to be comedy. There's enough things that people call me, yo, you know, here we're going with so and so, you have to make a video. Who? Nah, I make no video about that, brother. I mean, I have nothing to do with that. You understand what I'm saying?
Stick to what you know, how you want to deal with it and everything.
That's never going to be useful for you, especially for me. I go on stage, I rip shows. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't go on stage and talk. you got to understand, I'm not going on stage to talk about somebody else's life.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So what is that? How is that benefiting me to beat down another man through him go through something with him wife, or him go through something with him family, or him kids, or whatever. Everybody go through their stuff.
You're a public figure, so things happen publicly.
Absolutely.
Another thing, because that right there was that was the darker side for you when it came to the pandemic. A bright moment now was when you were doing the clashes. And one of the biggest ones was the Steely and Jazzy T. But there was another moment that came out.
Right.
When you had called Specs.
Oh my God.
To come.
And I started doing the glasses. I'm not gonna clash, fam. No, fam. That's like hot chocolate without water, fam. Like
Bro.
Shout out to Specs, because I know Specs for years too, you know what I'm saying? Going on the radio and all that stuff. Big up to Specs.
That was a night, because it was you and Jabba that came on the live after. That was a night when we discovered that Instagram Live went for more than an hour.
Absolutely.
Because the jokes that you and Jabba was giving us, that, yo, we are dead.
Absolutely.
We are dead.
Absolutely.
We are dead.
Absolutely.
And when you look, yo, we were on this thing for like 3.5 hours.
And you see, so all of that dedication to me was a slap in the face when everybody turned their back on Majah Hype, because I was the one that spoke up for the people. You understand what I'm saying? I was the one that was like, yo, so now y'all tell me, say, true, we in a pandemic, and you can't keep on a party, and you can't keep on a show, and you can't keep your concert, and you can't keep this. So now it's F the people now.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna entertain the people now, because you now make no money off it. So you can see who is the people that is just hustling out the business. You understand me? I genuinely went on there not making $1. No, me never know nothing about it. Tag, cash up, and make people decide. I was on there just giving people entertainment. We were all locked down. Yeah. We were all in the house. Nobody couldn't go nowhere. So for me, it was like, yo, these are the same people that make sure them come out and represent we when we're there road. So now because we can't go there, we can't go road, no. So what? Not gonna do nothing for the people them. And that is when everybody else was like, it might make me look stupid, you know? You know, so I'm going to keep a party, a virtual party. I'm going to start playing some music. Then all of a sudden I see everybody start putting their Cash App up. They putting their PayPal up. They putting their this up. Because them still want money out of the business, because them can't do it without that. Because the people means nothing to them without gaining. You understand what I'm saying? And I was content just being able to entertain people. That's my life. That's what I do. You understand me? So I felt good just entertaining people. You understand me? And it just goes to show who's really true and dedicated to the fans, to the culture, to the business, all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know when I'm coming back out of quarantine, I know shows are gonna sell out again, shows are gonna go on again.
You did what you're supposed to do. You stayed relevant, you stayed hot. Doing what you did on the internet.
Exactly.
Just keep putting it out, because we can't go anywhere, so more people.
So I enjoyed myself properly.
Yeah.
You know, and giving other people opportunities too was something that I'm an empath. I always care about people and what they are doing, and shedding light to this person, shedding light to that person. Every comedy show that I kept, I've brought young talent on my shows to give them exposure. Some of them ungrateful, you fuck. Some of them, not even a thank you them give you.
Yeah.
But I don't care, because I do that out of the realness of my heart. When you don't see some of them around me again, you know why. Yeah. You understand me? I say the selectors them that full of dub plate, and the dub plate them a catch cobweb in them computer. Them now have nowhere for play it. All right, let's start doing a clash. DJ Nori from Power 105 from Afrique. He's the one who called me and said, yo, bro, let's start doing some clashes. Yeah. And I'm like, boy, I'm not up on the clash thing, you know. He was like, bro, trust me, let's do it. I said, if I could get the help to do it, I'll do it. Yeah. And he said, all right, I'm gonna get in touch with the sound man them. I'm gonna make sure that they are the people, you know, that want to clash, and we're gonna put it together and make it happen. We're gonna use your platform, because your platform is the biggest platform we have right now. All right, cool. And I volunteered that.
Yeah, that's where I was talking about the Steely.
You understand me? Me never call the selector and say, yo, dog, yeah, hear me? or 3,000 people that watch you, you know, me need $150, you know, because people know you know. I never did that.
Yeah.
I did that out of the kindness of my heart because I believe in our culture. You understand? And it was something that the people needed and wanted. You know what I'm saying? I see woman who never know nothing about clash. After 2-3 weeks of clash pass, they be like, yo, we the clash them there. Oh, we're dead tonight. You understand what I'm saying?
That was the goal. It's like now, you know how you had your TV schedule at one time?
Exactly.
Now that we're at lockdown, we have a schedule. We know, okay, this night we're going to Majah. This other night we're going over here. That was part of the thing.
Exactly.
One other thing, great thing that came out of the pandemic for you also, where now you even flip your entire situation on its head and almost made fun of it. When you did Playing for Keeps, the dating show. How did you even come up with a dating show now?
All right, so the dating show came up because of my situation, right? Because I found that everybody was asking me, do I still believe in love after that? You know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, yo, I said, I'm tell you, say you believe them dirty gal alone and ray, and people, you know, telling me all of this foolishness. And I'm like, yo, bro, one situation can't spoil the perspective of marriage or, you know, relationship or union. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't work. And some of my virgin them was like, boy, no good girl out here again, dog. That's what I tell you. Be that girl there and ray, if you leave them girl alone, just one and move and ray and all of this kind of foolishness. I'm like, yo, listen to me. It have good woman out there, just like how it have good man out there. You understand? And that was what led me to say, you know what? And then a girl who I know linked me and said, you should do like a dating show or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what? It makes sense. Because I want people to understand that just because I went through what I went through does not hinder me or who I am as a person to say, boy, I still look my family, you know. I still want my wife, you know. You understand me? Because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm good with all my exes, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that they all understand why we're not together today. You understand? And it's an equal accountability reason. You understand what I'm saying? I did some things, them do some things. You understand?
But remember, you started the conversation with saying you grew up in a decent household.
Absolutely.
You grew up seeing your grandmother and your grandfather.
Absolutely.
So then clearly that left an impression on you.
Absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
I want to lead.
All of my aunts and uncles are still married to this day. My grandmother was married to my grandfather until he passed away. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm far-fetched from that. You understand me? So at the end of the day, you know, you have to look for people that is equally yoked. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When, you know.
From there. Last one I got for you. We're here right now. We're at the venue for the Toxic AF comedy tour, all right?
Yes,
this is the Canadian stop, all right? What could people that not here tonight, obviously, could expect from this tour from Majah? Because what is this here? Third tour now?
Third.
School me.
What? Melbourne 6 tour already.
What?
Go ask your parents.
Yeah.
Are you dumb? Where the WTF is he from? Major Issues tour, which was, you know, like the beginning of last year to now, and Toxic AF. So that's like 5-6. Yeah, I think I had like 5-6 tours.
What could they expect from this one in particular now?
Well, every year I advance, I grow. You know, every year I try to bring something new to the table. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I've survived a traumatic situation in my life that most men would not even be able to recover from. You know what I'm saying? I survived something that I could have let it tear me down and throw me away, but because of my faith in God and knowing the truth, I prevailed and I pushed through it, right? So, and like I said, who can talk about me better than me?
Than you, yeah.
You understand? So, you know, there's certain jokes in there that I talk about and stuff like that, you know, that confirms certain things and stuff like that. You know, you got to be a little witty to stay in, you know, that type of mind space with me. But yeah, man, just a good performance, just, you know, dedication, you know, just me being the person who they know, but from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think that every year I have a new group of people and some people that come back to the shows, you know, who've been to past shows that, you know, you could just look on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? The people who tag me, the people, or if I put up a clip, you know, the comments, you know what I'm saying? The people is like, yo, nah, I get abs from last night. No, sir, but belly stiff from last night. No, I cry off my eyelash them, man. You know, this is what you're seeing. So you know what to expect when you come to a Majah Hype show, because like I said, I don't play around when I go on stage. I lose the world when I'm on stage. I don't care about nothing that's going on when I'm on stage. That is my sanctuary. That's my home. That's where I go and, you know, I feel at peace. I feel like I'm having a good time. It's not like, oh boy, I gotta go on stage. It's like, yo, I'm going to my home. You know what I mean? So I love being on stage. I love being able to fill a room, 1,000 people, 3,000 people, you know, whatever the capacity is, filling that room with laughter and joy and inspiration and also glorifying God's name. I love that.
That's you.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what you can expect, you know what I'm saying?
What other cities could they expect this tour from Majah Hype in?
Oh, well, we going everywhere. We going everywhere. We going to D.C., we going to North Carolina, we going back to South Florida, we going to West Palm, we going to L.A., it's everywhere. I have another tour that I'm actually doing right now that I'm also going to be filming a reality TV show.
Okay.
Yes, and it's called Stand Up or Die. Stand Up or Die. You're going to see behind the scenes. You're going to see behind the stage. You're going to see comedians in their element with their families. You're going to see all of that. You know what I'm saying? Drew Frazier, Gerald Kelly, Rashawn Reese, Fredo Davis, Kelly Kells, Nima Cat. All of these people are on this tour. So you're going to see that. You're definitely going to see that. Also, you know, like I said, that tour is also going to start soon. I have some shows that's going to be coming on Tempo Network, yes. I don't want to speak about what the show is yet, but, you know, we just signed some NDAs and some contracts and stuff like that, so that's going to be coming to Tempo Network as well, so look out for that. Also, of course, you know, I've been shooting a movie with Ky-Mani Marley. Yes, Vendetta. That's going to be out soon. And then we have some other movies that's coming out too. So, you know, getting good responses and just doing the work that we put in it, you know?
Bringing up that movie, as much as you could speak about, is it something like Shatas?
Shatas too.
Yeah. All right.
Shatas too.
Yeah. I can't wait to see. I remember I seen you in Money and Violence and all of these
Absolutely.
stuff. You understand? And I know how you get down. So this movie here now, and what's the name of the movie?
Vendetta.
Yeah.
Trust me, people, when I tell you this is the next one.
Yeah.
You know, like how we have Dancehall Queen, we have Third World Cop, we have Shatas, we have Belly.
Yeah.
This is the next one.
Vendetta.
Yeah, this is the next one.
This is it. Majah, conversations are always deep,
Absolutely,
interesting,
Absolutely.
and you're always very transparent,
Absolutely,
with what your thoughts, your ideas, and everything. And it's always just a simple, easy conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you know, what's the sense of hiding the truth?
Yeah,
it's your truth. You live it. You know what I'm saying? And nobody can't tell it like you. I'm also working on my book, by the way.
On a book
and a documentary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you're busy, boss.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I just like to be honest and transparent with the people, you know what I mean? Sometimes people be like, yo, you too transparent with them. Leave them a need for know that. But at the end of the day, I am who I am. I'm an open book. I'm a Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying? We the brutally honest people. You know what I'm saying?
Even if it's to your detriment sometimes.
Absolutely. And I'm so I'm probably gonna retire from the Instagram thing soon.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Could you, as a true entertainer. We're not saying comedian, we're not saying producer, we're not saying, as an entertainer, do entertainers really retire? Or they retire certain aspects of
certain aspects, right.
their life. Like an Eddie Murphy.
That was a joke. I'm not going nowhere. You motherfuckers is not getting my spot. No.
Yeah. You talk about it. This is the last one, and we're going to go. I know you got a show. You talk about it a lot. You put a lot of Bible quotes. You talk about God a lot of stuff. When was the last time you actually went to church?
Where two or more is gathered, there's the presence of God. Right? So for me, church could be held anywhere.
Okay.
Church is a worship. It's a fellowship. It's you can have church in your house. You understand what I'm saying? So, but actually went to a church building.
Yeah.
It's been a while because of the pandemic and everything, but I watch it every Sunday.
Okay.
I watch church every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I get the message every Sunday. So, you know, and that's another thing. Like I seen a lot of people talking about, oh, true, you ain't not trouble. No, y'all talk about God, y'all talk about this. Look at my Instagram from day one. You'll see.
Yeah.
I was raised that way. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's just what it's been for me since day one. But, yeah, I never try to, you know, give myself all of the credit. I always got to glorify God because without him, I would be nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Get it.
Yeah.
Major. Crazy.
Always
Leave
a
some
pleasure, brother.
social media info where they could check you out if
Absolutely.
they haven't already.
Yeah, make sure you check me out on Facebook. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, Majah, Caribbean Ebonics. It's not Majah, it's Major. Majah, no. Majah, yes. Okay, so Majah Hype, MajahHype. Check me out on Instagram, check me out on Facebook, and also on Twitter, it's MajahHypeWorld. So it's Majah Hype World on Twitter. Make sure you follow me. And of course, make sure you check out my YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying? And look out near future. Like I said, we got a whole lot of things happening. Tempo, the movies, the everything we got going on. So yeah, that's what it's about, man. I'm just trying to kick down these doors for not only for me and my interests and my career, but for the people that is following, the people that is going to forward after Majah Hype. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, being able to be on, you know, The Breakfast Club and, you know, BET and all of these things. I'm doing things that a lot of people before me couldn't do. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm making sure that we can open those doors and leave them open to present opportunities for the next people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about for me. You know what I mean? I just want to feed my family, have a good time, and live life, and leave my legacy. You know what I'm saying? So
you're working. You're definitely working. Yeah, Joe. Let me give you an outro and get you out there because this conversation, epic conversation. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
Peace.
This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinemusichut.com.